Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Sarwana. You can call me Sara, and I am Vilvi's husband, and this is Vilvi's family's kitchen. Okay, today we're going to look at how to cook fish curry Indian style, and we're going to use mackerel fish, which is our favorite. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we have mackerel fish, which has been chopped into bite size, it's like an inch thick. And this fish has been marinated for about 30 minutes with turmeric powder. Okay, the reason why we marinate them is to make sure that they don't have odor, all right, and also to kill off some bacteria, because as you know that turmeric is an antibacterial property. Okay, our second ingredient is this is fish curry, which is done by my wife Wilvi herself. Okay, we need at least 5 spoons full of this fish curry powder. Okay, if you want your gravy to be thicker, you can add up more, probably 6 or 7. Okay, the next we have is grounded and blended chili powder, which is also homemade. And to make the curry spicier, you can add up 3 full spoons of chili powder, but I recommend 3 is good enough because you're already adding up about 5 spoons over here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now our next ingredient will be shallots. Okay, my wife always uses shallots because shallots is very good for diabetic patients. It does not spike up your glucose level. Okay, this is about 200 gram of shallots which have been chopped. And then we have garlic. Now, garlic, it is compulsory for you to put them in pieces and do not chop them or do not pound them, because if you chop and pound them, you will lose the fragrance of the garlic itself. So we can put at least like 1 full garlic, a big one. All right, so that will be very nice for the fragrance of the fish curry itself. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next ingredient will be tomatoes. Now, these tomatoes must not just be chopped, but what you have to do is you have to squeeze them a little bit and try to make sure that they are a little bit squeezed like this. Okay, the reason why we are doing this is because we are not going to use tamarind juice for the fish curry. As you know, tamarind juice is detrimental for diabetic patients. Okay, so to replace tamarind juice, we are putting tomatoes, but it must be squeezed a little bit so that it gives the curry the thickness that you want. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next ingredient is I have pounded using a mortar and pestle 100 grams of ginger and 50 gram of turmeric. Now, this turmeric is also known as turmeric. In Bahasa Malaysia, it's known as kunyit basah or kunyit hidup. Okay, it's very yellowish in color, the turmeric. Okay, and you can get them in any markets nearby. Okay, pound them to this consistency. All right, but not like in a very liquid form, but in a chunky kind of, like when you're eating the fish curry, when you're eating them, you can feel the crunchiness of ginger and turmeric. Okay, our next ingredient will be 1 tablespoon of fenugreek and 1 tablespoon of mustard seed and some curry leaves. Okay, the next will be 2 green chilies. You can also use red chilies, but green chilies are tastier for fish curry. And try to remove the seeds if you don't want it to be too hot. Okay, so here later we'll be removing most of the seeds over here, and you can just cut into 2 so that it'll be spicier. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, okay, what we have here is some lady's finger, brinjals, and curry leaves. Now, Wilvi's secret recipe is a bit different than others. Okay, what we have to do is we have to saute lady's finger and brinjal. Okay, and maybe you can just saute for about 2 or 3 minutes in low fire. The reason why we are doing that is so that the curry becomes tastier, but you don't have to cut the front and the back part of the lady's finger, and also so that the lady's finger does not feel like gluish. I mean, it's not so sticky. So to prevent the stickiness from brinjal and lady's finger, we saute at least for 2 or 3 minutes, and we are only going to use this ingredient a minute or 2 after everything is cooked. That means you have to switch off your stove. Then finally we are going to add up this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next ingredient will be salt, and you can use 2 tablespoons or 1.5 tablespoons of salt, and at least 1 or 1.5 liters of water. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you heat up your cooking pan with coconut oil. We only use coconut oil because it's good for your health. And please use medium fire, not too big. The first ingredient is I'm going to saute fenugreek and curry leaf and mustard seed. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just saute for a minute, and now if you can see it popping up, that means that it is already cooking. Okay, our next ingredient is put the shallots and the garlic. And ladies and gentlemen, as I said, do not cut the garlic. Put them in big cloves, exactly like what you. Okay. Okay, our next ingredient is the turmeric and ginger that I have already pounded. Okay, and we need to saute for at least a minute or two until you see the aroma coming up. Okay. Okay, I have sauteed it for about 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now I'm going to add up 5 spoonsful of masala. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, that's for that 1 kilogram of fish. Now I'm going to add up 3 spoons of chili powder, just for the spice. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now let's saute it. And make sure that the fire is slow fire. You can smell the aroma coming out. Okay, make sure it's thick enough. Now you can see that the powders will just stick to the ingredients that we put just now. You don't have to add up any oil. Okay, now let's take some water, and you can just put like half jug of water. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now I've already added up half jug of water, and now we can see that everything is simmering in this hot pan. And now, if you think that it's very watery, you can add up another spoon of the fish masala. Okay, now simmer it for at least 10 minutes, and once it's very thick, you can see that you can later put on the fish and all that. Okay, so please make sure that you simmer it for at least 10 minutes. Okay guys, now after 10 minutes you can see the curry is boiling, it's simmering very well, and make sure that it really boils very well. That means that masala has been cooked and the chili powder has blended very well with all our ingredients. Okay, now you can use big fire, and finally you can slow down the fire. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to add up the fish that we have marinated with turmeric. Okay, now add up one by one slowly. Okay, you can reduce the fire. And finally the head of the fish in the middle, so that you don't break it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we have already added up all our fish into the curry itself. Now, please make sure that the curry has coated the fish very well. Okay, all right. Now you have to cook for another 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Now, why 5 to 10 minutes? Because we want the curry and the juice to be extracted straight into the flesh of the fish. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now you can see that after about 8 minutes, it started to boil, but make sure it's slow fire. You don't want to break the fish. Okay, now I'm going to add up some salt. Just 1 tablespoon of salt is enough. But if you think that you want it to be a little bit saltier, you can add up more salt. Okay. Okay. Next, I will be adding up my chilies. Okay. And finally, the tomatoes that we have prepared. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have simmered it for about another 5 minutes after I added up the chilies and the tomatoes. Now I'm going to off the stove, and you can see that it's boiled quite well. And now I'm going to add up the lady's finger that I had sauteed earlier. As you can see that it has been sauteed earlier. And why? Because we want to prevent it from releasing its kind of like sticky glue. And I'm also adding up some extra what we call curry leaf. Okay, just okay, ladies and gentlemen, my fish curry is now ready, and thank you to Wilby's Kitchen for this wonderful recipe. And guys, I just want to say something. It's a good thing to know how to cook, because when you guys are going for studies or work and you're going to be alone, so you don't have to go outside for food, because you know they use MSG, and you might be intolerant to MSG. So with this fish curry, it's homemade, and we use coconut oil, and it's so healthy for you. Thank you.